If you are over 60, there is one small habit that could quietly raise your risk of a stroke while you sleep. No warning, no pain. One moment you are fine, and the next you cannot lift your arm. Your speech becomes slurred, or your balance is gone. As a brain doctor, I have seen far too many older adults go through this, and not because of smoking, poor eating habits, or lack of exercise, but because of something they believed was helping them. Vitamins. Yes, really, vitamins. Every single day, millions of seniors swallow supplements to protect their bones, boost their energy, or keep their memory sharp. While many of these do provide benefits, some, especially in high doses or when taken at the wrong time, can quietly put the brain at risk. Today, I want to walk you through 5 common vitamins that may increase your chances of stroke, brain bleeds, or sudden blood pressure spikes, particularly during the early morning hours, when your brain is at its most vulnerable. If you have ever taken vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin B6, vitamin A, or niacin, this information may save your life. Before we begin, I would love to know, have you ever wondered whether your vitamins could actually be harming you? If so, type 1 in the comments. If you are just learning this for the first time, type 0. Let us begin with perhaps the most surprising of all, vitamin D. What you do not know about it could turn a restful night into a dangerous one. You have probably been told it is good for your bones, your mood, even your immune system, and that is true in moderation. But here's what most seniors are never told. Too much vitamin D, especially when taken before bed, can quietly raise your risk of stroke. I know that sounds shocking, but I have seen it in my own patients. Take Mr. Walter, a 74-year-old retired Navy veteran. He was sharp, disciplined, and very serious about his health. Each morning, like clockwork, he lined up his supplements, including a 10,000 IU capsule of vitamin D he had purchased over the counter. He believed he was protecting his bones. What he did not realize was that this routine was slowly setting him up for a silent disaster. One morning, his wife found him confused. His speech was slurred. His right arm hung useless. He had suffered a stroke overnight. His lab results showed dangerously high calcium levels, hardened arteries, and unstable blood pressure. The culprit: vitamin D toxicity. Here is what happens. When you take very high doses of vitamin D without proper guidance, it forces calcium to build up in the bloodstream. The body does not know what to do with all that excess calcium, so it deposits it into the arteries, making them stiff and narrow. And where can that lead? To a blood clot heading straight to the brain. As we age, arteries naturally lose flexibility. Add dehydration, poor sleep, and a calcium spike at night, and you have created the perfect storm for stroke. The most frightening part is that there are no warning signs. You can go to bed feeling fine and wake up with your life permanently changed. To make matters worse, many over-the-counter vitamin D supplements in the United States contain far more than older adults truly need. If you are taking vitamin D, particularly along with calcium or heart medications, you must get your blood levels checked regularly, and you should always take it in the morning, not at night. If you are using vitamin D right now, let's start the conversation. And if this warning made you think twice, give this video a like, so others can learn too. Now, if that startled you, wait until you hear about the next vitamin. It is one many people take for heart health, but in older adults, it can raise the risk of something even more dangerous than a clot: a brain bleed. Let's talk about vitamin E. Vitamin E is often called the heart helper. If you have been taking it for years, you are far from alone. Countless seniors add vitamin E to their routine, believing it will support their heart, improve circulation, and maybe even boost memory and skin health. But here is the part you will not see on the bottle label. Too much vitamin E, particularly when combined with common heart medications, can sharply increase your risk of bleeding in the brain. Yes, even if you think you are doing everything right. Let me share a story I will never forget. Mrs. Evelyn Brooks, 81, a retired librarian from Ohio. She was sharp, witty, and always had a book in her hand. She had a heart valve problem and was prescribed warfarin, a common blood thinner. Her doctors monitored her closely. Her blood tests looked good. Her pressure was steady. But one day she bought a bottle of Natural vitamin E she saw advertised in a magazine. 800 IU per capsule. I thought it would help my memory and circulation, she told me. 3 weeks later, she was rushed to the emergency room with a severe headache, confusion, and vomiting. A brain scan revealed a hemorrhagic stroke, bleeding inside the brain. Not from high blood pressure, not from an injury, but because the combination of warfarin and high-dose vitamin E had made her blood too thin to clot. One tiny fragile vessel in her brain burst. Here is what most people do not realize. Vitamin E, in large amounts, works like a natural blood thinner. That means it slows clotting. If you are already taking aspirin, Plavix, or another blood thinner, and then add vitamin E, your risk of internal bleeding rises quietly, especially in the brain, where even a minor bleed can take away your speech, your memory, or your ability to walk. And here is the shocking part. The recommended daily intake for older adults is only about 15 milligrams, roughly 22 EU, yet most supplements sold on store shelves contain 200, 400, even 1000 IU in a single capsule. No warnings, no consultations, and countless seniors take them daily for years. Mrs. Evelyn survived, but she now needs a cane to walk. Her short-term memory was never the same. Through tears she told me, "I only wanted to help myself. I never knew I was doing harm." That is the part that breaks my heart, because she is not the only one. So many seniors believe that if something is labeled a vitamin, it must be safe. But the truth is, not every vitamin is harmless. Especially if you are on heart or blood pressure medications. You must speak to your doctor before adding anything new. And if the idea of a brain bleed was not frightening enough, there is another vitamin many people take for nerve health and energy that can quietly harm the very nerves it is meant to protect, sometimes permanently. Let's talk about vitamin B6. This is the one often labeled as a nerve support or brain booster. You may have seen it on pharmacy shelves in bottles that promise better focus, energy, or memory. Perhaps someone even told you it was good for aging nerves. But here is what most seniors are rarely told. Too much vitamin B6 can actually damage your nerves, and in some cases the damage is permanent. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold Jenkins, age 76, a retired truck driver from Kansas. He came into my office because his feet felt numb, his hands tingled, and his balance was failing. At first, he assumed it was simply aging. Then the falls began. First once, then again. By the third time, he struck his head on the bathroom floor. When I reviewed his supplements, the problem was obvious. He had been taking a nerve support formula for more than a year. The label promised brain health and circulation. But each tablet contained 100 milligrams of vitamin B6, and he was taking 2 tablets every day, that is 200 milligrams daily, more than 10 times the safe upper limit for older adults. Here is the frightening truth. Unlike some vitamins that leave the body through urine, vitamin B6 accumulates over time. In seniors, it can strip away the protective coating around nerves, like peeling insulation off an electrical wire. The result? Tingling, numbness, weak muscles, tremors, even confusion or memory loss. What makes it worse is that the symptoms creep in slowly. Many mistake it for arthritis, aging, or early dementia. But in reality, it could be vitamin B6 toxicity, a slow, preventable kind of nerve damage caused by a supplement marketed as helpful. And if not detected early, the damage can be permanent. Mr. Jenkins was fortunate. We stopped his supplement, and the damage did not progress further, but he still relies on a cane. He no longer drives, he told me. I just wanted to protect my brain. I did not realize I was poisoning it. Let's be clear, vitamin B6 is important, but only in very small amounts. Older adults need just about 2 to 10 milligrams per Dalton Y, and that includes what you already get from food. Yet many so-called brain support pills sold online or in stores contain 5,100, even 200 milligrams. That is not only unnecessary, it is dangerous. So if you are taking any supplement labeled for nerve, brain, or energy, check the label, know your numbers, and type 6 in the comments if you have ever taken something like that or know someone who has. Now you might be thinking, at least some vitamins like vitamin A must be safe. It is just for eyesight, right? Not exactly. Let us talk about vitamin A. If you are like most seniors, you have probably heard that vitamin A is essential for vision. Maybe you have taken it for your immune system, skin health, or because someone told you it helps with graceful aging. But here is what almost no one tells you, especially if you are over 60. Too much vitamin A does not simply sit quietly in your body, it builds up. Over time, it can raise pressure inside your skull, imitate the signs of a stroke, harm your vision, and even affect your brain. Let me share the story of Miss Dorothy Simmons, 79, a retired piano teacher from Oregon. She loved music, taught students out of her living room, and valued her independence. But one day she began experiencing headaches. Then her vision blurred. Dizziness followed, then slurred speech. Her family feared the worst, a stroke, but her scans told a different story. There was no clot, no bleeding. Instead, she had elevated intracranial pressure, too much pressure inside the brain. Her spinal fluid was backed up, tiny veins in her brain were under strain, the cause vitamin A toxicity. She had been taking a high-dose skin and eye supplement for more than 5 years, nearly 10,000 IU per Dalton Y, every single day, without realizing it. Here is the critical difference. Vitamin A is fat-soluble. That means it is stored in your liver, your tissues, and even your brain. It does not flush out of your system, like vitamin C or the B vitamins. And as we get older, the liver slows down, so the buildup happens even faster. Too much vitamin A can lead to a condition called pseudotumor cerebri, literally a false brain tumor. The symptoms include headaches, blurred or double vision, dizziness, nausea, and even permanent vision loss or cognitive decline. The tricky part is that many multivitamins already provide the full recommended dose of vitamin A, but people like Miss Dorothy unknowingly double or even triple that by adding extra skin, eye, or anti-aging formulas on top. The safe upper limit for seniors is about 2,500 to 3,000 IU per Dalton Y, and only if necessary, under medical supervision. Yet many supplements sold online contain 5,000, even 10,000 EU or more. Taken daily for months or years, it is easy to see how the damage builds. Miss Dorothy is slowly recovering, but she now needs regular eye exams, pressure checks, and balance therapy. She told me, "I thought I was doing something good for my body. I never imagined it could hurt my brain." That is why I share her story, not to frighten, but to give you the facts so you can protect yourself and your independence. Now, if you thought vitamins for eyesight were risky, wait until you hear what can happen when a vitamin intended for cholesterol and heart health suddenly spikes your blood pressure. Let's talk about niacin, vitamin B3, a nutrient you may have taken or been advised to take for your heart. Niacin, also called vitamin B3, is often praised as a natural way to lower cholesterol. Some doctors even prescribe it. You will also find it in heart health supplements, energy drinks, and fortified cereals. But here is what is often left out of the conversation, especially for older adults. Niacin in high amounts can quietly cause dangerous swings in blood pressure and may even trigger a stroke. Let me introduce you to Mr. Frank Miller. He is 82, a retired postman from Florida. He came to me with an unusual combination of symptoms: sudden hot flashes in his face, a pounding sensation in his chest, and dizziness that appeared every morning. His wife assumed it was anxiety. His son thought it was side effects from blood pressure medication. But the real cause was something no one had considered. Frank had been taking an over-the-counter heart health supplement. The front label read, "Supports cholesterol and circulation." The back label revealed the truth: 1,000 milligrams of niacin per serving, and he was taking it twice a day. That is 2,000 milligrams daily, more than 60 times the amount most seniors actually need. Here is what happens when you take large doses of niacin. It forces your blood vessels to expand suddenly, which is why your face flushes or feels hot, but soon after, those same vessels tighten back up and constrict. That snapback effect can push blood pressure higher, strain the heart, and cut off blood flow to the brain. Over time, this back and forth is like tapping a hammer repeatedly on fragile glass. Eventually, something breaks. Frank experienced what is called a transient ischemic attack, or TIA, often referred to as a mini stroke. His speech slurred for 2 minutes and then returned. He thought it was just a fluke. But I had to tell him the hard truth: his daily supplement, meant to protect his heart, was quietly damaging his brain. And Frank is not alone. Many older adults take high-dose niacin without realizing it. Some buy flush-free or extended-release versions online, assuming they are safer. But even those can still raise blood pressure, trigger atrial fibrillation, and interfere with blood sugar control. Here is what you need to remember. For seniors, anything above 50 milligrams of niacin per Dalton Y should only be taken under medical supervision. And if you already have high blood pressure, heart rhythm problems, or take medication, you must check your labels. Frank is now off niacin and recovering with no permanent harm. But he told me something I will never forget. "Doc, I thought I was doing everything right. I did not realize I was gambling with my brain." So now that we have walked through 5 common vitamins, each with the power to quietly harm your brain, you may be wondering, what should I take instead? Or better yet, what should I eat? It is a smart question, because the truth is, your body was never designed to run on pills. It was built to thrive on real food, whole, natural, nutrient-dense foods that your brain can recognize, absorb, and use in the perfect amounts. Let me tell you about Mrs. Margaret Wilson. She is 73, a retired school principal from Arizona. When I first met her, she opened a drawer filled with supplements: vitamin D for her bones, vitamin E for her heart, a B complex for energy, niacin for cholesterol, a multivitamin, plus several more for brain support. "I am doing everything right, Doc," she said, but she still felt dizzy in the mornings. Her balance was shaky. Her blood pressure kept climbing. Something did not add up. So we tried something radical. We cleared away the clutter. One by one, we took out the pills and replaced them with food. Not a magic diet, not a complicated program, just real, whole foods at the right times, in the right combinations. Here is what her breakfast looked like: 1 boiled egg for clean protein, half an avocado full of healthy fats, a slice of whole grain toast for steady energy, a handful of blueberries packed with antioxidants that protect the brain, and a glass of room temperature water to hydrate the brain. Sometimes she added a few walnuts or almonds. That was it. No powders, no pills, just real recognizable nourishment. Within only a few weeks, Margaret noticed a difference. Her dizziness eased. Her blood pressure evened out. Her energy returned. And she told me her mind felt clearer than it had in years. The brain needs hydration, healthy fats, steady fuel, and micronutrients in their natural form. It does not need mega doses, it needs balance. Some of the best foods for older adults include leafy greens such as spinach and kale, loaded with folate and antioxidants. Fatty fish like salmon or sardines, rich in omega-3 fats that protect brain cells. Berries packed with polyphenols that calm inflammation. Nuts and seeds that provide vitamin E, magnesium, and healthy fats for the brain. Whole grains that keep blood sugar steady and circulation strong. And remember, these foods do more than protect your brain. They also support your heart, strengthen your bones, lift your mood, and keep you mobile. You are not just eating. You are healing with every bite. Here is the final wake-up call. Awareness is the best medicine. At this stage of life, every decision matters more. And the truth is, it is not the pills you take, but what you know about them that truly protects you. At 60, 70, or 80 years old, your body does not handle supplements the way it did decades ago. Even well-meaning habits, like taking vitamins, can quietly backfire if you are not careful. That is why awareness is the most powerful medicine of all. You do not need to fear vitamins, but you do need to respect them. Read the labels. Ask your doctor, and listen to your body, especially when it whispers. If any part of this message spoke to you, share it in the comments. What is one change you will make starting tomorrow? If you found this helpful, please give it a like so others can discover it too. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel so we can keep learning, growing, and staying strong together. You are not alone on this journey, and you are never too old to take back control of your health. Thanks for watching.